So, welcome, dear YouTubers. I am back casting another Magic Duels game. I want to send my best regards to Carefree Coding, but because his channel keeps me amused, he uses very interesting decks and has lots of videos. I hope you have met him before. This deck, let's just quickly pass over the cards that I have included. This is going to be an attempt to get to the emblems that many planeswalkers can grant you. The emblems are very powerful, and I would like to get to as much of those I can, but I decided to stay on a black and white deck. So the emblems that I am going to be aiming for are the Lilianas, another Lilianas, Gideon, and perhaps Obnixilis. And since I'm on white and black, I also added the Sorin Grim Nemesis to help us along. So the thing that is going to probably help us very much is the Oath of Gideon. So let's go ahead and try to see how this performs. So it might look like a Planeswalker's deck, those are very powerful, but the true objective here is to get the emblems out. That is twofold difficult. First, we have to get the Planeswalker and get to the emblem, but if we get to that point in the game, probably the game is about to end and our opponent might leave or lose the game. So a secondary challenge is to get more than one emblem in one game. I think that is a huge challenge. So let's see. I like having Read the Bones in the opening hand and nice land. So also Oath of Liliana can protect us from some big creature when we cast the enchantment and the opponent is forced to sacrifice a creature. And if the opponent is going on the aggressive side, we might get to cast Languish. We should draw another black mana source to being able to cast Languish. And here it appeared. So at this point, I think it could be nice to start getting some action, but Read the Bones is going to help us getting the cards that we like. We get to scry 2, then draw and lose 2 life. So losing life is not something too amusing, but I think it's a fair price because the other effects are very good in black. So Lone Rider. I think I'm going to wait with Lone Rider because Lone Rider gets to transform if we gained 3 or more life, and it's quite likely that the opponent can deal 1 damage to our guy. So let's go ahead with the Bones, and we are going to find 2 copies of Lone Riders. Let's keep one of them and we draw the Bygone Bishop. This is quite nice to have, since then we get to receive clues if we cast creature spells. Now this guy is from Kaladesh, celebrating gremlins whenever an artifact enters. That could be quite powerful. Possibly we want to deal with that using Oath of Liliana, and next turn we can cast 2 cards, or perhaps the Gideon. Having the Oath of Liliana out brings along a 2/2 zombie creature token. I should confess that I tried to make a black deck that spawns lots of zombie tokens, but I think it's not that strategy is not quick enough to deal with many of the opponent threats, and therefore is not quite doable. So here Mm, yes, if I'm going to use the language, I think I should better do it now. Yes, we delay playing our Bicon Bishop and the Lone Rider, but maybe we can force the opponent to play his card. I think yes, I'm going to sacrifice those two to see what happens, and maybe we get to flip the Lone Rider into it that writes as one. Very powerful life linker. First strike, 4/4, and trample to top it off. So, but we have to gain life for him to flip. We get our clue. Sigil of Valor is going to be equipped on this Thopter. When it attacks alone, it's going to receive +1/+1, and also Sheaf of the Foundry here. Yeah, well, this is going to be hitting us for 5 unless we decide to block. I think I'm going to block. Recall that I want to get to the emblems. A nice thing of Gideon is that we can get the emblem right away. Pretty cool. So declaration in stone, pretty sweet. But let's just attack with this. Unless we get 1 point of damage. By now, I think that the opponent knows that I'm going to cast the language, because otherwise I should have not blocked with my Bicon Bishop and I should not be attacking here. Yeah, well, he could have prevented the damage, but now we use language. Well, I think that we are advancing the game, but the board state, we could say that is somewhat even. The opponent can make the Wandering Fumarole attacking us, but we can start playing Gideon. Gideon can spam the tokens. We receive a zombie. Declaration in stone, pretty good against the Thopters also. So let's here go with Gideon. And make a 2/2 Knight ally. And I think I'm going to drop the Lone Rider here. And if the opponent wants to target this one with a spell, I think it's not that bad because we have a clue to refresh our hand. Also Ailey, pretty powerful legendary creature with Death Touch, can gain us some life and exile something. Wow, a nice Juggernaut that is going to be trying to kill us. Sigil of Valor onto the Thopter. And the Thopter is going to go after Gideon, most likely. Of course, it's going to get to 4/4, so Gideon is dead. Well, could be worst, I suppose. Yeah. We got a 2/2 ally. Now, what to do? So this one is forced to attack us, and good declaration in stone. So the opponent, if he attach this into this guy, yeah, think he's going to try to do that. Let's get a swamp here. So I'm going to use this ability. Alright, we gained some life, but making this one turn. But now if the opponent equips this Juggernaut, it's going to be hitting us for quite a bunch. But we can retaliate with it that raises 1, so we win 4 life back. Also the Champion Band has lifelink. Now what is this going to be targeting? Zombie token. Alright. Now what the opponent should have attached this guy onto this other. I think the opponent just misplayed there. Yep. Now this is forced to attack, and now he is going to just lose it. Well, let's see what we get now. Let's hope some planeswalker could be quite nice. Well, Liliana. I don't mind having Liliana with us. Also another lifelinker. What now? Perhaps Declaration in Stone, the Chief of the Foundry. Otherwise, yeah, the opponent to kill this it that tries, he has to. I think he has to make a big block there. Let's draw to see what we get. And do not tap double black, could you please? No, okay. I think white and colorless is fine here. And Thalia, pretty nice here. But okay, the issue with Declaration in Stone is that we give the opponent another option to draw something, but I think that reducing the amount of power is nice here. Now we can attack with this guy. Now the opponent cannot kill this at this turn, and we are going to be left with above 30. So we might even use the Ailey to kill something. That could be quite amusing. I've actually never. I mean, I never did that before, but I don't think it's going to be quite likely that it happens now. The opponent can activate the shambling bands, can make one of these guys unblockable. So more Thapters. So Declaration in Stone is very good against the Thapters. The opponent did not use it. Clue. 5-5. We go back to 28. Alright. Oh. This is good. Now let's go ahead and attack for 4. Yeah, that is correct. Now, should we get rid of this guy to kill something? I think so, but yeah, let's go ahead with that. Mm, let's hit this guy. Yeah, well, maybe not the wisest choice, but let's play Thalia. So if the opponent has the Thopter Engineer, the new Thopter is going to enter tapped and therefore it cannot attack. But I imagine the opponent either way is going to be wanting to use the attack with a single Thopter. He's cracking the clue now. Let's see, 5 land, 5 mana, open. We got this Death Toucher to block any ground attacker, and whatever creature the opponent decides to play is going to enter tap. Now we have seen a symbol from the opponent, also Pian Kiran could kill something activating this ability. So now we get another hit, but this time it's just for the opponent almost dead. He can activate the Fumarole, but the first strike is quite powerful. So we could envisage them making the Sigil of Valor. Doesn't seem too wise to do so. So let's proceed and first hit the opponent with this. This guy is extremely powerful. I don't see the opponent surviving this hit. Yeah, another 4 damage. And we could even start using the quest by Abby here. Okay, let's just do this. And when the opponent attacks, we can activate Ailey. Let's see what happens. And at any time, we can safely cast the Unleashed Unmaking. Wonder Ephemeral. Maybe the opponent wants to give more power to the Thopter. He could equip the Sigil of Valor over the Ephemeral. Yeah, he chooses to do so. This is going to be attacking us for this gains +4/+4. Alright. Now we could kill it. Yeah, and at any rate, we lose a creature or take 8. Yeah. Let's skip blocking and activate this guy. No, cannot. Wow. Just a non-land permanent to exile this. No, I mean, what? What am I doing? Yeah, I couldn't target a land permanent. That's why the opponent chose to do so, but it's not problematic at all. So the planes is not going to do us much good here. What now? So let's send the one again. It's that right one. It's going to be a attacking, and let's send Ailey 2 into attack mode. Let's see if the opponent decides to kill the Ailey. And I hope the opponent does kill our Ailey, so Liliana is turned around. Yay! Another planeswalker. We're going to receive another token. I'm going to minus X Liliana. Yep, let's bring back the Lone Rider to the field. And continue. Yoo-hoo! Pretty cool, I could say. Let's see what the opponent chooses to do here. Oh, plenty of options. If we do nothing during the opponent's attack, we pretty much finish him on his second attack. We can even transform our Westvale Abbey. But imagine if the opponent has a bounce spell. That would be quite scary for us. Let's see, the opponent should probably hit Liliana. Yeah. Well, Anguish at making the top turn. Let's continue playing. So let's finish this game. So the planeswalkers are too powerful for what I wanted to do. So if we wait 9 turns, I think we could get into the emblem zone for Liliana. That's, I think it's way too much. Let's see what the opponent is holding. It was a land, and now we could even activate the Shambit Bend. But the tramples are pretty much the end of the opponent. So, nice game, but we didn't get to use any emblem at all, so I think this one was a fail, but we received some coins. Let's try again. Come on. Now, of course, very into the move would have been to get the Gideon's emblem right away. But oftentimes you want to have Gideon hanging with you for a few turns. There is a cool combo with the Emeria Shepherd. Perhaps we could try that. The Emeria Shepherd lets you bring back your permanents from the graveyard to your hand whenever you play a land. The only issue is that Emeria Shepherd is a expensive creature and you have to play your lands after she's on the board. Therefore, this could happen, but with just black and white in the deck, it's hard to get to 7. Now, let's see if we can do something. So, as you saw, the game was pretty much one-sided last time. That's the issue with the Planeswalkers deck. A nice looking hand without enough lands to play the sweet cards. Let's hope to get something going on soon. Nope. This was a bad mulligan. Yeah, I totally regret. I don't know if you are going to believe me, but I misclicked. I wanted to mulligan that one, but now I'm paying the consequences and I have to discard. No, what to do? Let's give up on this ship. I kind of screwed the game with that mulligan. From it doesn't matter if your cards are powerful. If you have no lands, you're not going to play them. But let's do not stay more in that game. It was a very bad misclick over here. So let's go. This one I'm not going to misclick. Let's hope to get a very nice hand. Come on, come on. Let's see, the opponent chose the same avatar that I did. Give me emblems. Maybe he's trying to get the emblems, perhaps. Let's see now. This is quite good hand because we potentially could drop Liliana on turn 3, provided she's safe. So let's begin with the Evolving Wilds. So we draw into some sweet swamp. I don't know the taste of the swamps, but it's going to be sweet. We have some protection for Liliana. Molten Vertex is not what we want to see because Molten Vortex is going to be able to hit on Liliana, but on the other hand, it means the opponent is not playing his lands. And Liliana is probably going to be able to deal with these goblins that are probably going to be showing up pretty soon. Let's see, come on goblin. Glory Chaser. No, it was the Ember Hauler. So we have the double block online, but I think it's too risky to play our Liliana just now. Therefore, I'm going to, let's see, whatever I play now, the opponent is going to be able to kill, but using Liliana, I think makes it harder for the opponent to use it. So we are not going to block, because if we block, the opponent can one-shot our Liliana with Molten Vortex. Oh no, Bolt of Chandra deals 3, and we lose our Liliana. But don't worry, we can get that. So this probably means that the opponent has at least two planeswalkers. Death and Strength. Yeah. Right, the opponent is crying. We go to 15. Another planes, and so still not dropping Liliana because she dies to an attack plus something from that place. Could use Declaration in Stone, but I think we better save this for something more powerful. Blessed Alliance, just in case the opponent has something to pump up this one guy. Yeah, I think we have to wait and be patient here. And if the opponent wants to spend his land with the Molten Vortex, I'm fine with that. Now this is a good target for the Declaration in Stone. Let's see the attack. So no pump up, still well. Multi-vortex, alright. 2 points of damage to us. Well, that's nice. So we know that the opponent is holding 4. No, this is much better than all the other cards. So the question is, do we play this right now? I think so. So the opponent cannot use the pumps on those, and that means that Liliana is much more likely to survive the following turns. Now Thalia could be nice, but I don't know if she's going to be able to survive. But now that the opponent has emptied his hand, I'm much more happy using Thalia. So let's yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to go with double plays here. So we have 2 creatures out. Now the opponent could get something powerful here, but we still have some removal tools, and we can start hitting the opponent, and we can gain life with the Blessed Alliance. Let's see, if the opponent has thrown into more lands, he's probably going to be hitting Dahlia here, and it is Collective Defiance. So what is going to be? Probably he wants to kill one and hit us for 3, and probably he could make us discard. Yes, he did. Well, so we lost our plan here, but nothing too difficult to overcome. With the bones, put us at 4, and if the opponent has Exquisite Firecraft, we are done. But I think that getting these cards is, yes, this one, yes, and alright. Worst case scenario, we use Blessed Alliance to gain 4 life. Let's see what the opponent has there. If he has a land, he probably wants to hit our face, but he did not. Good. Now we are going to start activating the Shambling Bend, so we gain ourselves some more life. Let's attack. We couldn't tap our creatures. So we are at 6, and with Blessed Alliance on hand, I think that we are safe this game. Now too bad we lost 2 Lilianas. Yeah, we have double oath. So I don't know what the opponent is holding back in his hand. Perhaps some X damage spell. So if I drop the Aile, we still can use Blessed Alliance without the escalate. I think it is worth to take the risk here, because the opponent is quite passive, and perhaps he's waiting for the battlement to play something and give that something haste. So the companion land for the Hunger Garrison can be used to give something haste, but we are recovering, and we have the Oath of Liliana to force the opponent to sacrifice any creature he wants to play that anyways is going to enter the battlefield tapped. So what is the opponent thinking now? I think he is... so the opponent maybe has another one of these olds. He dropped the land, so I think he has a Chandra up there. No? That is strange. I'm quite curious about what was going on there. So let's attack and see if we get to see what the opponent had in his hand. Maybe 2 lands. So I forgot to activate Shambling Band. Well, might regret doing so, but right. Let's see, 6 lands. There are powerful 6 mana spells in red. It is an Avaricious Dragon. It's kind of smart. It's pretty smart to have that one in this sort of deck. But now we get to see he has to reveal what he had there. Double Call of the Full Moon. Pretty sweet, but no. Goodbye, dragon. Yeah. Alright. We lost our Lilianas. Oh, so sad. Alright. Let's hit this. I'm still not sure about using the Emeria Shepherd. I would have to take something out. It is kind of a late game resource to recover one of our permanents. Let's take a look at this. Alright, Liliana's no, Liliana, the Mary Shepherd is this guy here. 4/4 flying and land. What can we take out if we include her? This is all sweet stuff, but maybe this flagship, yeah. Let's trade the artifact for her and move on. Let's see. At any rate, we might find ourselves using that guy to recover some of the planeswalkers. Perhaps. So apparently my attempt to get more than one emblem on a single game is going to require for the opponent to be an AI, because regular players are going to be leaving the game much sooner, or otherwise we lose. So let's see, we have an early Dahlia and of Liliana. I think this is quite doable, provided the opponent is not running too many counter spells. White and green, little bit worrisome, but the opponent has an oversized deck, therefore I'm not too scary. I mean, it's not that scary because oftentimes deck so big is not going to be very consistent, but the opponent already has double land. So let's go ahead with playing Ailey and see how the opponent deals with her. If the opponent is going to try to block her, we can cast Oath of Liliana, and otherwise we have Thalia to hinder the plans of the opponent. Sunstone Bridge. So thank you very much. We gain +1/+1 and vigilance, but other than that, that fades out by the end of the turn. So forcing the opponent to sacrifice that guy. Don't know if I do want to do that, but that means we can get in for 2 damage there. So yeah, I think this makes the opponent able to search for another land, so he is going to be at 4. But on the other hand, if the opponent has a big creature, we have another Oath of Liliana and our Blessed Alliance. That means that if we make the opponent cast something really big that can bypass the Death Touch, we can get in for pretty much a lot of pain, and drawing another black mana will enable us to cast Liliana. Also, we could activate Shambling Bend and attack. We can activate it but not attack. But instead is the Lone Rider. Nifty combo with these two. But let's go attacking with her. The opponent might have some bump up to save his Bicon Bishop and prevent damage and even kill our guy, but I'm not going to be too sad if the opponent wants to pump up his guy. So playing Thalia here. I think I'm going to play the Lone Rider and probably force the opponent to sacrifice his guy. Not sure about yet, but it's a possibility. Let's see, opponent drawing, but this is going to come up tap. No, I still have no the Thalia out there. And Sylvan Advocate, not bad. We're going to no, let's do the Blessed Alliance. Target opponent. We could. Do I want to gain for life and flip my it? Yeah, no. I think I'm going to try to gain both control here. Yeah, because I could flip this one, but the opponent could be having left with 3 creatures. Now we have the Archangel Avacyn that can show up later, and let's send our Ailey into attack mode and see if the opponent wants to trade 2 creatures to kill our guy. We kill both of the blockers. Alright, now I think Thalia is good. She has first strike, so the opponent cannot attack freely, but if the opponent sends this one into attack, we can deduce that he's holding some pump. Now he gets 2 lands, and this becomes a 4/5. Well, we could deal 4 damage, but then he killed both our guys, so not quite there yet. In second Ailey, we could use this mode to gain life and flip this Lone Rider. Let's attack with our Ailey, because even if the opponent decides to kill her, we have another one. Alright, there we go. No, he regrets. bad. And what now? Too bad we are not getting any additional lands here because we could either Bright Step, make this one flip. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. The opponent probably is going to be using the clues to draw something. Let's hope it's nothing too scary. Second Sylvan Advocate. This enters tapped. Angelic Destiny into the Alvis Visionary. So he's going to be attacking us for bunch this time. I'm going to skip blocking. And let's hope we get some sweet land to ambush the opponent with our Absinthe. Instead is Read the Bones. Not quite good here. I think it's about time that we use out of Liliana. Yeah, but I think we are dead anyways. Yeah, that's it. The lack of lands kind of pretty much killed us, and now this game is about to be over. The opponent just needs to enchant one of these guys, and he wins. Yep. Too bad a single land would have enabled us to use many of our options here. So let's see, if we sacrifice another creature, we gain two. Winning two is not going to be enough. Yeah, but perhaps it's our only play, so let's try to do something. Yeah, but it's quite unlikely that we win this one. Yeah. But we never know. This is renewal. So pretty strange. The opponent should have used his enchantment over the Sylvan Advocate. Skip blocking. What to do? Let's skip. Yeah. Maybe I should have blocked there, but we are left without any possible plays, and yeah, pretty much if this would have been a land, I think it would have been much better here. Ailey. Yeah. Well, at least the Vanguard Bishop buys us a turn. Bygone Bishop can block the flyer. But let's see, if the opponent is going to attack with by ground, I'm going to block with the Lone Rider, so we get our clues going on, but he's looking bad. So the opponent is short on mana to cast that one this turn. Not bad. So let's block with this. Yeah, we are at 6. Pretty cool, eh? Right, 6. And another Lone Rider. So let's drop the Lone Rider. and well, get the clue going on. So 4 lands. Now look at the opponent. Of course, the opponent has ramped, but yeah, pretty mana screwed over here. 5 cards in the graveyard, plus 3 on the board. 8, 9, 10, 13 cards, and 4 lands. Pretty bad for this game. What is the opponent doing? Now, yeah, this is a very absurd deck. So, one of our exiling spells could be quite nice. Yeah. So, only hope to block here. Bah. Alright. So many no lands. Now let's just see where our next. Still no lands. Ambition making. Let's get the ambition making. And 1 land. Woo! Alright. Let's live out. Well, final try. Let's come on. We have to get there. We got our 5th land after about 20 cards. The luck was in our. Yeah, I think the luck hated us. Come on. Come on, game. This is it. This time it's going to work. The emblems are going to happen. Let's be positive about that. Emblems. Go, emblems. Would like to have the Oath of Gideon. It hasn't shown up yet. I think it's a very cool card. We are against a Grey Avatar. No lands. 0 lands and some lands. So this is going to have to do. This probably going to happen is that we drop Thalia and she dies right after that. So we are going to need our lands for the planar outburst soon. Second plains. We have enough black lands if we draw into our Liliana. So I'm quite happy to see Oath of Liliana here with us. Selfless Spirit. Nice card, probably is an auxiliary card for something more powerful that the opponent is going to be trying, and so tempting. Let's play Thalia first and see what goes on. If we get our Kalitas before Oath of Liliana, it's going to be great. Now the opponent pulls it. That's a bit concerning. I think he's going to be able to kill Thalia with a number of spells that he might run. So, non-basic lands enter the battlefield tapped, and isolated Chabel is a non-basic land. So Thalia does a good job. The Heretic Cathar is quite nice to stop the opponent. Now, alright, that was I was wondering. If the opponent had left his mana opened, maybe we should be worried about him playing some sacrifice spell, but now we're going to attack. Yes, that's it. A bit worried about not getting the land here. So I'm going to drop the Oath of Liliana. This card kind of tells the opponent that we are running a planeswalker deck, but I think it's the most mana efficient this time. Let's see, the opponent 4 land, and he's going to be dropping what? A couple of lands would be nice, even 3 lands in a row. Lets us cast both Planar Outdoors and the Grim Nemesis. Opponent attacking, so what is going to happen here? Militia Captain and the Lone Rider. Well, Gisela, quite good, but we can't cast her. So, pretty sad about having only 3 of our lands, so I think next turn I should force the opponent to sacrifice something and untap our Thalia, so we can get to kill some of his attackers. But opponent might use the Selfless Spirit, but then he loses 2 of his creatures. Liliana, oh boy. The opponent got to the Planeswalker before we did. But okay, this is held back. Now we're going to... Okay, if we force the opponent to... Yeah. There we go. I do not have to tap creatures. Why didn't the game let me use this? Because the Escalate is 2. Yeah, pretty important to realize. So come on, well, a land, a tapped land, but what are we going to do? Well, having Thalia up there means that the opponent is not going to be able to do something too nasty soon, and we probably want to play one of our big creatures, but I think they are going to be eating Declaration in Stone. So if we draw an untapped land, it is going to be Planar Outdoors. Now the opponent could sacrifice Selfless Spirit to save himself from the Planar Outburst. That could be problematic. And now his guys have Vigilance. What to do? And we are getting low in life. Yeah. Alright. So let's go with Caliphas. So here, I think this is a loss if the opponent has something to kill or exile Caliphas. Otherwise, we might still have a chance. That's it. Yeah. Now we get hit for 6. Let's prevent 3. Can't block. What do you mean? Alright. Thalia is gone. And, well, now that we have Sorin, things are looking much better because we can gain life and kill one of his guys. I think I'm going to, of course, try to hit his flyer because he can sacrifice it to make the other guy indestructible. Of course he did. So now the thing here is that the opponent can destroy our Sorin. Ah no, we gain the zombie token, yes. Thanks Liliana. That gives Sorin some hope. This is going to be -2, -1, yes. And Shambling Bend is going to be activated, of course. And Sorin is going to receive 3 points of damage. Yes. Doesn't matter too much which one we block. So let's languish. Languish is. Let's see what we get. If it's a land, yeah. Opponent lost 3, and if we languish here, the opponent can kill with 3 against our face. Otherwise, we can drop the Gisela. Languish and making will lose 3. She's about to flip. I mean, she can get the emblem. So I think this is going to be pretty risky, but I think that this is the only hope. No, I lost because I miscount the lands. Yeah. Yeah, I was counting on activating the Shambling Bend, but if I use this language, yeah, we would have gotten another turn. So that was a misplay there. Why are we winning coins? No, come on. The mana is not coming up at the pace that we want to. So let's try to get something going on. Come on. This one has to be it. Come on, mana. We might be facing a milling deck. The milling deck. If we get to exile the tutelage, Sphinx tutelage, that is good. Otherwise, we are done for. So we got 4 lands, but only can get 1 black. But the Bygone Bishop might help us getting the clues, and then we get the draws. That's why I kept this one hand. So let's lay out our Golden Wilds. So question is, should I crack this? If I draw a 2-drop, it would be good to have a black land here. Maybe this is a zombie deck. parece que te reías de mí. Now let's pass the turn. Let's get a black. The opponent also running black and white. Maybe some interesting interactions. So here I'm going to play the Bygone Bishop. I think it's the best option, but the opponent might be able to get rid of the Bygone Bishop. But next turn we can play Lone Rider, get a clue and open the clue. So, life gain deck. He's going to be trying to drain us using lots of effects. Let's play the Lone Rider. And so if I want Kalitas next turn, I should use the Evolving Wilds here. That also lets me drop the Planar Outdoors sooner. Let's go with the Bygone Bishop attack. Alright. So let's see if the opponent has his allies to gain life. Calestria Healer or something is the best card to follow up this one. He might have two of those. It's going to be quite painful. Opponent has his fourth land. And what else? Well, Cliffhaven. Yeah, pretty annoying, but let's sacrifice this. So Kalitas is going to let us gain some life. We could Oath of Gideon and use the clue. But I think having Kalitas is pretty powerful here. Skip the attack and let's hope the opponent is not running his own language. But even if he does, we get rid of his two guys. Let's see. Now this one is making us losing another point of life. And this guy is bigger now. So kind of stops our Caritas. So let's hope we get something to get rid of them. Lone Rider. Let's use the clue and try to find something useful here. Well, this is pretty useful. But we are going to have to wait. So, next turn we are about to use our first emblem of this video, provided this oath survives, but if the opponent runs enchantment removal, it's quite unlikely that he is going to be pointing that to our Oath of Gideon. And this kind of is quite good to... Yes, it's the Oath of Gideon and the language. The turn after is going to be quite powerful. But this one, the opponent decided to make his creature gain Death Touch, so he can pass through our Bygone Bishop, and then also giving them first strike. Yeah, pretty powerful deck the opponent is running. Let's hope we can stabilize using the Gideon. Yeah, so even the Archangel, hmm, quite tempting, but I'm going for the emblem. That's my purpose in this game, getting many emblems out. There we go. What was that effect? I don't know. And let's send the Kalitas to attack, and let's see what happens. If the opponent chooses to block with something to kill Kalitas, those creatures get exiled, I guess, and our Lone Rider is going to turn anyways. We are going to end this turn at 18, and next turn the language is pretty tempting, but we also have the Avacyn with us. So let's see. Now the opponent can spawn allies or getting +1/+1 on his creatures. So another land for us could be really great. So we could languish and drop the Lone Rider after that. Calastria Healer is going to make this one bigger, a bit larger, so she doesn't die to the languish unless she chooses to block something. We might plus the Gideon, he's going to be 6/6. We're going to block with our tokens anyways. This guy has first strike. So what now? Let's see what the opponent chooses to do. He could send his Bloodborne Vampire against us. Yeah, that is going to be blocked by one ally. It's strange that he's not pointing towards Gideon. Fair enough. Now, let's see. Both of Liliana are pretty good, I think, but lands are not going to be enough to do both of these. So let's plus our Gideon, and I'm going to attack with perhaps everything. Yeah, doesn't sound. No, I think I'm going to leave behind Kalitas. Let's see, because I don't want damage market on Kalitas. And let's see if the opponent decides to block. He is going to lose anything, but it's not too relevant here. This one has trample, and first strike. It's not going to be easy to deal with this. He should block Gideon. Fair enough. Now I'm going to languish before the opponent gets the chance to destroy us with the +1/+1. There we go. 4 nice zombie tokens thanks to Kalitas, and all his nice cards got exiled, except for this Bloodbound Vampire that can aim towards the Gideon. No, the opponent decided to leave the game. Alright. It seems that to get the second emblem we have to fight against the machine. Opponent giving Death Touch to this guy. Pretty relevant. We can even afford to take the damage, and I think is quite doable. Opponent can open the Shambling Band. Yeah. Yes. Let's use the Liliana first. And we got rid of this guy. We're going to kill the Shambling Band. Yeah. Okay, let's try just to get this second emblem. But we should not be killing the opponent here. Therefore, let's remove the Shambling Band. We deal the opponent 2 and kill this guy. Yeah. And Lone Rider that is going to turn around. So, pretty powerful, of course. Almost as powerful as the Always Watching, but there is no way to remove the emblem. Let's see, now the opponent cannot even attack because the computer knows that he needs to block our follow-up attack. He probably should be using some lands to gain life out of the retreat of Kagra, but no, let's minus here. 5/6. Kill that one. Alright. Getting closer to the emblem, we have to wait 2 more turns. And then the zombies are going to be growing exponentially. Come on, hurry up, fast forward. You have 2 cards, drop both. Yeah. 1 and get a token. Yeah, nobody cares about the token. Yeah, planes. 1, drop the planes. Kill a token. Grow the Gideon. Well, actually, next turn we get 2 emblems. So we end the game with 3 emblems against the AI. Now, imagine if the opponent has a planar outburst. That could be quite funny. Or tragic arrogance. Tragic arrogance is the way to deal with our current board. But we can even flash Archangel Abyssin. Nope. No place. What card is this? Another land, probably. So, let's get 2 emblems now. Liliana, the last hope. Nope. Sweet Liliana. Pretty good looking one. And another Gideon. Yeah, double Gideon. Yeah, read the bones. Uh, too much power here. Finish picking bishops and jumping bands and blah blah blah. So let's take our opponent out from his misery. So we got to have 3 emblems out, but against the AI because the game was long before ended. So let's leave for another time. I'm going to still try to get that happening against an actual game, but for the time being, I hope that you have enjoyed and see you soon. Sayonara.